35192. Want to send me a text? AlanCoxShow.com. For everything else you want to watch live, thank you so much, by the way. I haven't given them their props today. Thank you to Chonko Slinkletter for helping out in the video department today. Always happy when Chonko lends the helping hand. Gab Cruz is hanging out today. Poundcake's out. Mary's out. And in a pinch, Jarbra says, yes, of course, I can stop by. Your maiden voyage with us here in the new studio.
Yeah, this was really,
Is it
really
everything
cool.
that you had envisioned it to be?
It's everything except for the parking being, like, not where I thought when I came.
Right.
But you did find it.
But we did find it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Did you give her a ticket? We do validate.
Yeah, I can take her.
I'm big ballin' over here.
I got a
Good
big
for
old
you.
I got a big old wad of validation tickets.
We treat you better parking-wise than the Cleveland Guardians do. Think about that.
Hey, listen, I
Your
am a
home-
brand ambassador, and I
I
really
know.
appreciate everything that the Guardians do.
Understood.
And when we leave,
I just have to walk very far to get here.
I'll show
When-
you.
to the ballpark.
Yeah. When we walk back out, I'll show you the shortcut through.
Okay.
Because you kind of went around to get through the front door.
Yes.
Yeah, now you know.
Yeah.
You'll get the. Yeah.
We'll show you the.
I know all the ways to
We'll
break
show you
it
the
now.
back door.
Yeah. Take those pants for a ride. Your Cleveland Cavaliers, second in the East right now at 8-2.
She's a little slow.
Are you okay?
She's a little slow. She's a little slow.
What's the matter?
I've never heard you say that.
The Cavaliers? You can't say that anymore,
No.
right? Have
There's
fun
a
with
bunch of dumb crap that we say on the
Yes.
show that I enjoy.
That's right.
Whatever it takes, whatever it takes. Cavs are gonna do. I said Cleveland's gonna do. I said we all got to do. I said whatever it takes.
Alan, what's the name of the coach of the Cavaliers?
HR Puffin Stuff. LQ Flinkenfarter. RB Herkenschmerkel is the coach of the
It's the Cavaliers in C-Town, 'cause this is the town where we're now living.
100% true. Cavs Kings. Tonight, it's a West Coast game, so 10 o'clock here on MMS. Tonight, 9:30 is when Cavs Live pregame will begin. Any given night, the Cavs can lose to a subpar team. Happened with the Clippers the other night. Cavs are at 3-6. Did we ever determine if Tristan Thompson
what?
is still in their ranks?
Cavs are not at 3.
Sorry, Kings are 3-6.
3-6.
Yep. Cavs are 8-2.
I don't know.
I was going to say, I thought they were on a good run.
Yeah, they are. And then they'll wrap up that West Coast run Friday night with a game against the Warriors. They're in Oakland, and they come back home Sunday to play the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Currently a free agent.
Tristan Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you go. So who knows? He's always a free agent with the ladies.
His last team was the Bulls. Surprised you didn't know that.
I think he
Since
was
you're-
there probably for a cup of coffee. I don't know
Yeah.
if he saw any time with the Bulls.
I think
Did he?
he got cut by Sacramento or traded, I think, and he was with them for the second half of that season. And I
Okay.
don't think he played all that much. Plus, did the Bulls make the playoffs last year?
I don't believe that they did.
I think they did.
I didn't pay
But I
that
think
close
they got
attention to them
knocked out
last
in the
season.
first round, though.
Yeah. So the Kings, they had Dellavedova for a hot minute. I don't know if he's still in the lineup, but there you go. I don't know who the Kings have, but the
Aaron Fox.
All right. Do they still have DeMontis Sabonis with the
I
Kings?
believe they do.
All
I
right.
think they do.
There's a name I know. Anywho, that's tonight, 10 o'clock here on MMS and on the iHeartRadio app. And keep in mind, too, all through the month of November, you can use the promo code PUMPKIN for 20% off at CLE Clothing Company. Right off the top. You go, hey! You get an armful of stuff. You throw it on the counter if you're in one of the stores, and you just go, pumpkin. And they take 20. Well, first they have to determine if you're just using a term of endearment. Here's the stuff I want to buy, pumpkin. So, put a comma in there or an ellipsis when you're in there buying stuff. If you're online, you can go to clevelandclothing.com and get some retro buzzer merch or whatever. Just make sure that you give them the promo code pumpkin.
I'm sorry, I'm still on.
Are you all right?
Cavaliers.
Cavaliers? Nobody knows what the hell a cavalier is. I mean, right? I mean, you kind of do.
Say it again.
It's fuzzy. Cavaliers.
Okay, all right, it's out of my system.
No, keep it in the
I
system.
wasn't ready for when you said it.
Feel free.
Listen, if you're laughing, we don't got to talk, so that's fine by us.
If you're laughing, we don't have to talk. There you go. Hey, Joe. Third time's a charm for Joe out there in Orwell today. Yeah, Joe, you just won from me a couple hours ago, right? I understand that. Somebody is going to hit you up, Joe, and they're going to thank you, Joe. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Somebody will. Joe won today earlier from me.
Joe's a little impatient.
He's impatient. That's okay. It's very exciting when you win tickets for the Cleveland Charge.
I was ready for something a little more exotic.
What's a fun way to say charge?
Charge?
The Charge. Cleveland Charge. Formerly the Canton Charge, but now firmly ensconced here in Cleveland, Ohio. Speaking of the iHeartRadio app, if you do listen to us from out of state, if you're one of our bureau chiefs, tell me where. Anthony listens in Eugene, Oregon. RJ is one of our Philly bureau chiefs. Colin is in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Chris is in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Go CMU, whatever that Central Michigan team is. Misty is in LaGrange, Kentucky. And Patty is a longtime bureau chief in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And boy, were they having fun at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport when the TSA officers confiscated a gun that was stuffed inside a hen. You know, you got to be really careful. People try to take their liberties over the holidays. And the TSA there, I'm sure there were all kinds of puns being thrown around there. Once that, personal foul, whatever it was.
Or maybe he got taken for a ride.
That kind of stuff. When you're...
So our accident...
Oh, what?
It's not an accident at all.
Maybe that's not really a pun. But the TSA found somebody had tried to hide a gun inside a holiday bird. You know, they pull about 700 firearms a year out of Florida airports alone. And 120 of them are there in Fort Lauderdale. A lot of people go to Florida over the holidays. And, the TSA... I guess if you're working for the TSA in any airport, you're looking for whatever you can pick up in kicks. So on the one hand, you go, we found a gun in a game hen, and that's a good get because it looks like you're doing your job and you're doing it thoroughly. But then, you really want to stick it to them. So they do things like, we're working around the clock to keep you safe. They tweeted, I'm not making this up. They tweeted it out.
That's what they said.
The plot chickens... They said, as we barrel our way closer to Thanksgiving, our officers are always working around the clock to keep you safe. Listen, we here on the Alan Cox Show never met a pun we didn't like. We're not going to get on our we hate puns high horse.
Yeah,
not at all.
But just do the job. We don't. No one's following the TSA Twitter account. Twitter is quickly imploding, by the way, anyway. Doesn't it feel like...
Wait a second. Before we get into that, don't think I'm not gobbling up all these tweets.
Where am I in this pecking order?
Very bottom. Doesn't it feel like it's the last... I so hope. I so hope
it gets about,
the last days of social media, in a way.
Yeah, I understand.
I would love it.
I think it all the
Elon
time,
Musk
here's
doesn't know what he's doing. Zuckerberg laid off 11,000 people this morning because he's wasting billions of dollars on the metaverse. And these guys are like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so bummed. Musk had to hire back some people that he fired because he doesn't know what he's doing. He's trying to kill the perks of people who still work at Twitter. He's like, yeah, we're going to get rid of days of rest. You know, the good old days, it was like a buddy of mine, for instance, ran the Google engineering headquarters in Chicago when they first built one there. He's since moved on to other things, but I remember this was when I was still there before I even came to Cleveland. And he goes, let me give you a tour. And of course, everybody heard the stories of like the slides to get from one floor to the next and the free this and the free that. That stuff's all going away. So Elon Musk is like, no more working from home. He wants like a 24/7 work culture because he doesn't understand anything. You want to talk about a colossal blunder. He doesn't even have a read on the fundamentals of his employees at Twitter. The generation that needs to do this work.
Real bird brain.
When's Chris McQuanzica?
That would be December 16th at the Agora. Pre-sale is tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. AgoraCleveland.com. Use pre-sale code DISCHARGE. That's discharge. Because it's a sexy word, Gab.
It's very.
Anybody hears the word discharge, they're like, oh, I'm a little turned on.
Let's get back to chirping Musk.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
The generation that needs to do the work that Elon Musk needs done. These aren't people who are like, I can't wait to come into the office every day, right? Famously need more flexibility in their jobs. You figure young, single, not tied down, right? Those are probably by and large the people working at a place like Twitter. They're like, I'm not coming in every day, douchebag. I'm looking for more stuff, not less. He's throwing out gray checks and blue checks and this guy.
Are you
What's a gray check?
What's a
You
gray
didn't read about the gray checks?
No,
Oh, God.
I have not kept up with any of this
I don't
stuff
know
that's going
anything
on.
either.
Because the blue $8 blue check fiasco, he was like, okay, I'll do that. I actually think he might have already killed the gray idea, but he floated this idea that, okay, well, a gray check will mean like you're official, but it's the blue check you can still buy. He doesn't know what he's doing. So now he says he wants to pay content creators. This is his next big idea. We're going to pay content. This guy needs to make $1 billion a year. And he's like, we'll give away some, not give away, but we're going to pay content creators.
I'm
mean, the
confused
other-
because I thought that he came out saying something's $5 a month, Twitter Blue, and then I thought he said for verified people it's $29.99, and now he's saying for a blue check it's
Yes,
$8.
he's just throwing things against the
confused
wall
at
and doesn't,
what we are supposed to
he doesn't even know.
Sup-
The people who work there don't know. Another brilliant move, by the way, from the business genius Elon Musk. We're going to pay content creators over at Twitter. Hey, let's compete with YouTube. What a great idea at this point in, let's pit our revenue bleeding format against a platform with 5 times the users and prints money.
Gab, would you pay for the blue check mark?
I'm not there yet. I
I mean, you have one already.
Yeah.
So is
But
it that
now
important to
I-
pay $8 a month to keep it?
I think it just depends because if we get it taken away and now it doesn't matter anymore,
Right.
what's the point of having it?
Exactly.
Well,
You
they're
know-
weighing that against people going, $8 a month.
I just think it's
He's
gonna be
hoping people
weird.
go, because the people who have them now are going to get grandfathered in. They're not going to have them removed, and then you have to pay $8 a month. You're grandfathered in. As of today, who knows, right? As of today, they go grandfathered in.
So we're grandfathered in, but new people have to pay $8 a month?
Yep.
Okay.
That's as it stands
Oh wait,
right
are
now.
you sure? So I don't have to pay anything?
As of
I
today,
don't believe you.
what I read this morning, in the midst of all this gray check, blue check, the thought was, we're not going to remove people's blue checks. The people who have been verified are not going to have them removed. They're going to be grandfathered in.
Uh-huh.
But anyone from here on out who wants one can pay us $8 a month and you can have one.
It's just so weird. Why
Which
are we
makes
doing?
which makes the people grandfathered in indiscernible from everyone else. So It's not like he's going to start from zero and start charging everybody. They've already had a massive exodus from Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm on Mastodon. I'm not doing much there, but I have an account over at Mastodon.
You got a check mark?
I don't even know if they do them. I don't think they do them over there. But it's just wild to watch this because I won't lie to you. I'm just looking for a reason to not be on Twitter.
Yeah.
I like Twitter. But I think they're figuring that enough people will go, I don't care about $8 a month. But people are already subscribing to so many other things. I get an email the other day. Hey, Hulu's going up to $82 a month. Like, what am I paying all this money for?
I just feel like I can't see Twitter dying because people love the instantaneous, like you can just roast and retweet and get your news quickly and
But here's what here's what I go back to.
Yes.
It never made money, so he's got to make money real fast. They determined that 95% of the tweets are created by 25% of the users.
That makes a lot of
sense. So Twitter is mostly
Okay,
the
yeah.
domain of trolls, journalists, people in media. There aren't a lot of regular people on Twitter. It's not even one of the top 15.
Oh, because they're just ingesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an aggregator for people that are kind of in the business. It's not even one of the top 10 or 12 most used platforms.
Why doesn't he just do, if you want to have a Twitter, everybody pay $1 a month?
I don't know.
Because that would mean a lot of people.
I'm waiting for him to,
Because then you get more money from more people, right?
But he's like a bird. He's like lighting on things every other day. I'm waiting for him to land on something. You know, he's just setting up these smoke signals, and then everybody freaks out, and he goes, oh, okay, we won't do that. Let's do this. And then we go, no. Let's do. This guy has to
I don't
make
know, but then
money
he
with
tweeted,
this
he
thing.
was like, you don't have to like it. It'll still be $8.
Well, but what did we say yesterday? Social media platforms have gone away, and life has moved on. MySpace went away. Friendster went away. Foursquare went away, right? So if Twitter and Facebook go away, something else will show up. People will get used to that. Back in the day, people were like,
be real.
Back in the day, people were like, Facebook's never going to take down MySpace. It really didn't take that long either. So who cares?
Hello, Alan. This is Patrick. Just calling to say I hate the show.
Is he doing Bane? What is this voice this guy's doing?
Just Patrick. He hates the show.
Hello, Alan. This is Patrick. Just calling to say I hate the show. I'd love to see Gabrielle there. Is she coming to the after show orgy? Well,
what?
Bye.
Is there an after show orgy that I'm unaware of?
I mean, I'm going to see Black Panther with some of my friends, but I don't think I want to call it an orgy. It's almost the exact opposite of an orgy.
That's a nerd orgy right there.
How did you know that you were going to marry your wife?
How did I know?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But when she walked in the room, I was like, oh boy. Because we were both with other people. We were both
it
with,
was one of those.
we were both living with other people.
Mm.
And she came in the studio and I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem.
Oh.
But I didn't know I was going to marry
love
her.
at first
I didn't even know when we went to Paris that I was going to propose. It wasn't some big plan.
Okay.
But yeah. You talk to anybody who's ever been divorced and they go, I am never, ever doing that again.
Yeah.
But you give them a few years and,
then,
you know,
yeah.
sometimes. Some people are
When
really
did she
into
know? When did she know for you?
Last week.
She's still getting on board with it.
Yeah, she's on board with it. You know, we
Yeah.
got the kid now, so
Yeah.
she's kind of
Things
locked
are
in.
getting pretty
but-
serious.
Yeah, pretty.
She's starting to acclimate to the situation.
Yeah. But I do
now
think
that he's getting his balls taken off.
yeah, now literally as opposed to figuratively. I do
I
think
started to think about.
I do think
makes
it's sweet
someone,
though that was your pivot from is Gab going to be at the post show orgy?
that was my pivot. No, I just because I'm curious now that you know.
When did I know?
Mm-hmm. And what makes people know? Because for me, I'm in a place where I'm like, yeah, I could get along with anyone, but you gotta like commit to. I'm gonna see this person every day.
I think it might have been because we lived together for a while, and I mean, it took me 5 years to propose. Yeah, because I was like, "What's the rush?" But I think it was probably when we almost split up because I was like, I don't want to have any more kids.
Okay.
And she had always been like, I don't know that I do either, but I want to have the option. And if you know you don't, then we got to go our separate ways.
Oh.
So it almost came to that. And then I was like, That's ridiculous. Why would I do that? Yeah, sure. If you decide you want to. So it was probably
okay.
then.
Did
where
you
I was
guys
like,
have another kid? Or you guys, did you guys
we have a
kids?
daughter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I have 2 older kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but you
So
two.
yeah, but we're one and done with her, and that's fine. And but that it might have. I don't know that there was a moment.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But
see
I
a
do
lot of
know when I
couples-
met her, I was like, oh man, this is like immediately I was like, man, she's
You were
awesome.
smitten.
I
So
was
it's
smitten.
basically-
Yeah, I was in deep smit.
So it was basically a physical thing that.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, she thought she was coming for a job interview, and it wasn't that. I just needed a warm body on the radio doing traffic for the show I was doing at the time
Okay,
in
okay.
Chicago. And her background's in TV and film, and so she was, and she came in, she thought for something else. And by the end of the show, we were really getting on very, very well.
Okay.
To the point where she was worried that her boyfriend was going to listen
and be like,
and hear what was going on. It turned out he slept through the whole thing. So,
okay. Wow, this is exciting news.
that's not really news.
I mean, it's
we've
a-
been
It's news
married
to
for
her.
10 years
Yeah, it
almost.
is
Yeah,
news.
news to you.
It is.
You
Yeah.
should hear what they sound like on the radio now.
Yeah.
Okay.
When Gwen comes in, she'll sit in sometimes,
Uh-huh.
and she hasn't been to the new place yet. I would
No, she hasn't been in here yet.
I'd love to hear from her perspective.
But their banter now is it's cute in a very angry way.
Well, she likes to break my balls,
She
and,
she
you
busts
know.
balls. Yeah, she's a ball buster.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I hope you think so.
Right.
yeah, I think being able to roast each other is good. No one wants to be with someone that you agree that is so agreeable, right? So agreeable.
No, I
No,
would like
I don't
somebody
want
who's
that.
very, very agreeable. I want somebody
See
who's
how we all
agreeing with.
disagreed? Yeah. I disagree with you.
I disagree. Yeah. No, she's great.
Maybe some of our listeners have been married a long time. I want to know, like, what are you looking for? What's your checklist? Because now I'm really starting to think, like, okay, what's the thing that I couldn't deal with for a lifetime?
There you go. You can shoot an email to gab@jarbra.com.
How do you feel about picking your nose and eating it?
Or I would like to hear someone's problem. And
Yeah.
then I would like us.
A booger eating spouse probably
Yeah,
is
you
probably
know?
pretty near the top.
Let's dissect it.
Oh, and I'm out of time.
Yeah.
I've got to take a break. If you got to split, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll split. Thank you for coming in.
Wow.
It's
thank you
always
guys for
lovely
having
to
me.
see you. Yeah. Twitter is Gabriella Cruz, or is that Instagram?
The
one of
sports- the sports
sports
gab?
gab.